Hello everyone, it's Kevin, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm excited to share with you how to get started building subgraphs and deploying subgraphs with Moonbeam on the Graphs decentralized data indexing network. So you probably heard of the Graph by now. It's been around for many years, and it's deployed across many different networks, and it's extremely popular among EVM-based networks. Now, Moonbeam has several different data indexing solutions, some which are built for the EVM side of Moonbeam, some are built for Substrate, and some work on both. But the Graph is one of the most popular ones for the EVM side. And so we're thrilled to have the Graph's support of Moonbeam and also the indexers who are running nodes and making it possible for you to query these subgraphs. So today we're going to kind of take you from 0 to 60. We're going to deploy a subgraph. We're going to index a smart contract, and we're going to talk about what the graph does and why you might be interested in creating your own subgraph. The first thing that we'll do is actually set up our subgraph on thegraph.com/studio. So if you haven't registered here already, it's very easy to do so. You can sign in with your MetaMask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by creating a subgraph here, and you can name it anything you'd like. In this case, in the demo, we're going to be indexing the Exiled Racers NFT smart contract. So I'll just call it EXR. This is currently in draft state, but this is going to change once we push up our subgraph and push it up to the Subgraph Studio, which is kind of like a development environment. If we go ahead and publish our subgraph at a later point, we can publish it on the Arbitrum network because the graph uses Arbitrum to manage the graph network. It needs to be able to incentivize indexers to run nodes, and all of that coordination takes place on Arbitrum. So again, there's three states. There's draft, which is kind of the beginning, there's publishing, which is the end, and then there's kind of deployed to Subgraph Studio, which is kind of like the middle point, and that's what we'll be trying out today. First thing you'll want to do, make sure that you have the Graph CLI installed. Okay, and next thing we'll do is go ahead and initialize our subgraph. And it's going to ask us to choose a protocol. Moonbeam is an Ethereum-based protocol, so go ahead and choose that. We're going to be deploying this to the Subgraph Studio. The hosted service has been sunset, so don't choose that one. We can choose the defaults here. That's totally fine. And then we do need to choose the correct network for where our contract that we're indexing lives. So of course, if you have a different smart contract that you'd like to index, by all means, choose that one. If not, go ahead and choose the Exiled Racers one. So as you can see, if it fails, just go ahead and retry it. It will succeed eventually. That's just perhaps due to some finicky RPCs. No need to worry, just retry. And then I'll be able to fetch the contract name as well as the start block. So the start block is an important field here because there's no need to index data before the particular smart contract was deployed. So that's the start block where this Exiled Racers contract was deployed. We have no need to look before that. If instead you want to look after that contract was deployed, you could of course specify a different starting block, and that's totally fine too. But in this case, we'll choose that. We're going to choose the contract name as the one that it has fetched automatically. If we want to take it as default and just index the contract events, if we say yes, that'll be the end of our development work. This is the default that we're going to choose. So we'll say yes, and it's going to ask us if we want to add another smart contract. We don't in this case. And we are just about ready to deploy and build our subgraph. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run graph code gen. Oops, let's just head into the right repo, and then we'll run graph code gen. Okay, it's going to generate our types that we need. We're going to run graph build to compile our subgraph to WASM. And then we are going to connect our local CLI with the Subgraph Studio here that we've set up. And you can do that with graph auth. There we go. So it just needed the studio command here, but that probably shouldn't need that. Okay, so the deploy key has been set, and now we are ready to deploy. So the subgraph slug is EXR. We're going to need that. So let's go ahead and say graph deploy EXR to Subgraph Studio. Version we're going to choose, let's say v0.0.1. Okay, and our status has changed to deployed. Awesome. So let's go ahead and test it out. And if we go over to endpoints, we'll see a curl command. So let's go ahead and test that out. Cool, and we see some data back. Now, another thing that I want to demonstrate is we have a script on this tutorial on the Moonbeam doc site. And all it's gonna do is get back pretty much all of the data associated with our subgraph. And that includes things like block number, transaction hash, ID, token ID. And this is, we're checking for the events of game asset minted. So I'll run check. And this will give us back all of the indexed events for the minted tokens. So again, if we were building a marketplace or a website where we were displaying this information, right, you can see how you would put together that dApp or that website. We breezed through this tutorial today, but the idea is just to help you get up and running and build something. So for more information, be sure to check out the Moonbeam doc site. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.